Matt Ryan is now an Indianapolis Colt after being dealt for a third-round pick from the Atlanta Falcons. Matt, I got a simple question for you.
All right.
What do you make of Matt Ryan in Indianapolis, and what does this mean for the Colts now moving forward?
I mean, right now, this means that the Colts are once again going to be legitimate contenders for not just the AFC South, but for playoff wins and maybe even, I'm not going to go Super Bowl appearance yet. I'd say AFC Championship appearance for sure. And at that point, who knows? But this is a team that has an impressive roster that with Carson Wentz as their quarterback and with Phillip Rivers as their quarterback has had a winning record the last 2 years. Obviously, they weren't able to make it to the playoffs last year with Wentz, but with Rivers, they played in a very tight game in Buffalo. And so I think Matt Ryan gives you experience. He didn't have a terrible season last year. He actually threw for more yards and had a better completion rate than Wentz, but he did throw 20 touchdowns to 12 interceptions. I think this is a good move. The Colts needed a new quarterback. This gives them a good window for the next about 2 years at least to continue to compete in the AFC and stay relevant in what is, as we continue to say, a very competitive AFC.
Yeah, I think this was a good move for the Indianapolis Colts, who know that they have a playoff ready roster, and they just need a quarterback, particularly one with experience, and that's what Matt Ryan is going to bring. He brings something that the Colts haven't had at the quarterback position since Peyton Manning, which is MVP and Super Bowl experience.
That's a good point.
So, again, this Matt Ryan is going to be insulated. He's going to be insulated by a great offensive line, a great run game, a solid defense, and I think that's really all the Colts can ask for after trading away Carson Wentz. And say what you want about Matt Ryan at his old age, he's certainly not mobile by any means, but he is durable.
Oh, yeah.
That's something he is. He's started at least 14 games in every season of his career. So you have weapons with Michael Pittman. Hopefully that receiver room can get added to by the beginning of the season.
Yep.
There's a lot to be excited about in Indianapolis. And I like a point that you mentioned in terms of there being a more than 1 year window, because I think a lot of people think that Matt Ryan is really truly near the end. And while he may be near the end, he's certainly not there yet. Atlanta was going to be perfectly fine with staying with Matt Ryan as their starter for this season and the season moving forward. So again, while he may be up there in age, Matt Ryan still has football, and you went through some of the numbers. Wasn't great by any means. The Falcons weren't a great team by any means, and the statistics kind of show that. But he still completed 67% of his passes. He still had a passer rating north of 90. So, and that was with a below-average skill group, to say the least.
Yep.
So, with most of that stuff improving in Indianapolis, in a pretty wide-open division. Obviously, Tennessee won it last year, but Tennessee obviously has some question marks. So Indianapolis is right in the thick of things in that division, and like probably last year and the year before, they're a true dark horse to make some noise in the playoffs.
I'll put it this way. I don't think Matt Ryan loses that game in Jacksonville last year.
I don't know. That's debatable. Would you rather have Matt Ryan, this version of Matt Ryan, or the last season's version of Phillip Rivers? And when I say last season, I'm talking about his last season in the NFL, not last season.
I think it's pretty comparable. I think Matt Ryan with the Indianapolis Colts is actually going to protect the ball a little bit better than Phillip Rivers normally did. And Ryan is still a fairly decent deep ball threat. I do
Right.
I like Ryan. I think that this is going to be a solid move for him. And I think you might see a little bit of a resurgence in his career just because new scenery, new team, new offense, and, an upgrade as far as the roster goes.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me, and you can't really discount the idea of being reinvigorated and being in a new place surrounded by people who want to win, because I can't imagine in Atlanta there was too much good stuff going on in the locker room in terms of moving towards winning.
I'd be excited if I got to hike the ball and then turn around and just hand it off to Jonathan Taylor. That would get me pretty excited on a Sunday.
Pretty jacked up for sure, but like you said, Matt Ryan is now in Indianapolis. Shakes up that division just a little bit. But that's going to do it for us. For Scott Proctor and Matt Morris, we'll catch you on the next episode of Simple Questions.